And we are back. A different kind of video today. I figured I would just get on here and rant and rave about one of my favorite bands that I just found on Spotify about a month ago. So let's dive right in and see if the band Turnover is worth listening to. So, right off the bat, Turnover is an American rock band from Virginia Beach, Virginia. They formed in 2009, and the band is signed with the Run for Cover Records label. Turnover has released 5 albums in total, 2 EPs, and a handful of singles. If we're going to describe their musical style, their first album has been described as emo and pop punk, while their second album has been described as indie rock, pop, and dream pop. I think indie rock is actually a really good way to describe this band. But without further ado, let's just walk through all of their EPs and albums and just talk about how ridiculous some of their songs are, how good some of their songs are, and if this band is worth checking out. I always love talking about music and anime and Pokemon with people, so let's just branch out and see what we are working with here. Alrighty, so first off, we're going to look at their singles and EPs here. We're going to start all the way at the beginning in 2011. Their self-titled Turnover album or EP here. We've got Sasha, Solitude, Time, Sleepless Nights, and Waiting. So I enjoy all 5 of these, but I don't think they're good enough to give a heart. I'm not gonna sit here and just listen to these all day. And the best thing I can say is you can get some really good lyrics in all 5 of these songs, but it's so perfect listening to this EP because it foreshadows what's to come. You can tell they're getting a feel for it. They're trying to figure out what kind of band they are. They're getting into their rhythm. And once they get into those full albums, you're really going to see that come out to play. So, no hearts right off the bat. If you do want to check these out, go for it. But they're fine. They're fine. But then we dive into their split EP with Citizen, and this is actually how I found them on Spotify. I was going through the entire discography discography of Citizen, and I was trying to get some more songs by them because I really enjoy that band. And then I found the split album on their playlist, and I was like, oh, who is Turnover? And I ended up potentially liking Turnover more than Citizen. That is a spoiler, but it's okay. But we are going to go ahead and lock in both Citizen songs on the EP as they are both amazing. But Permanent and No Sun is going to be our first blood here, as I really enjoy both of those. And kind of just piggybacking what I said about their self titled album or EP here, it's remnants of this, but just done better and more realized. And I just feel like in almost every song that they do, their lyrics are really impactful. They really resonate with you. You can relate on some form or some level. And we'll get more into the specifics as we go. But these 2 songs I can play and listen to all day. I really enjoy them. So moving right along, next we have the EP in 2014, Blue Dream. We've got 3 songs lined up, and Belladonna as well as Disintegration. These, I'm going to be botching so many of these, but Disintegration as well as Belladonna are both good. They're fine, but the moneymaker here is Read My Mind. I think that one steals the show as far as this EP goes. It's really good and completely goes hand in hand with No Sun and Permanent as far as quality. So if you're checking those out, go for it. And again, if you do look up this band, please, my goodness, share your thoughts on them, share your favorite songs from each album. That will lead to such fantastic discussion. Because that's really the whole purpose of this, is to share music and to talk about your favorite and just keep recommending different songs and artists to each other. But back to the video here, we've got some live ones which are going to go hand in hand with the albums that we'll be talking about in just a moment. So let's finish up with the singles and EPs. Next, we have Humblest Pleasures here, and we are gonna go in and secure both of these bad boys as they are really good. And again, continuing their same style, kind of that indie rock, kind of low, just chill vibe, but it's gonna start getting a little bit more upbeat, a little bit more groovy. And again, the lyrics are just gonna be streamlined throughout, where you can relate and just again resonate with you on certain levels depending on your personal experiences and just kind of how you feel when you're listening to music. So I think that does it as far as like the EPs and the singles go. And that means we are leaning straight into the full albums here. Absolutely. So let's go ahead and do it in chronological order. And right off the bat, we have Magnolia. And this is going to be so tough trying to select which is my favorite album out of all of theirs. And on top of that, I'm going to try to give you my top 3 songs from each album. So without further ado, I don't want this video to go on too long, but let's dive right in. So right out the gate, let's go ahead and start hearting some of these that we really enjoy. And this is going to get out of hand pretty quickly because this is actually going to be a clean sweep. I think all of these are heartworthy. A lot of these are hard to skip if they come on, and you can listen to them 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times until you get sick of them and maybe more. So this is a clean sweep as far as the 2013 Magnolia album goes. I love all of these songs. So now the harder task is really narrowing it down and picking my top 3. And as I was going back and listening to all of them for this video, it's not possible. We're going to have to do a top 4. So my top 4 recommendations for this album is going to be Most of the Time, Seed Wong. We've got Like a Whisper, as well as Daydreaming. So it's so tough. And honestly, I could have kept going. I think Pray For Me and Like a Whisper were very close to making the list as well for that top 3, top 4 spot. Now, the number 1, if you had a gun to my head and said I could only pick one, oh my gosh, it would probably be between Daydreaming and Most of the Time. It's really tough, but Seed Wong's huge as well. And yet, honestly, we'll just give Like a Whisper the 4th as well. So once again, we got Most of the Time, Seed Wong, Daydreaming, Like a Whisper. If I'm going to pick one, I'll grab Daydreaming and make a run for it. But on to the next album, we have Peripheral Vision in 2015. And oh my goodness, I think this is going to be basically another clean sweep. I am not joking. I just dig this band and their music so much. It's just so easy to get the hearts in there. Now, I will leave Threshold as it's only 1:28, and if it's just going to be a short little guy, sometimes it's instrumentals. I do believe this one is just an instrumental. I could be wrong, but really good stuff. Yep, it's just a little instrumental, and which is fine, but you get so much good music and just instrumentals within the actual songs along with the really good lyrics that I've been mentioning. So it's just like, it's just double dipping, if you will. But again, basically another clean sweep as far as albums go. And if you know me, I'm really picky when it comes to full albums. I rarely see any bands like even like Breaking Benjamin that has fantastic albums across the board. It's really tough for me to heart all of them just because there's certain things that I'm just like, no, it's fine. These songs are better than other ones. But I'm telling you, Turnover really knows what's up. But anyways, can we narrow this down to 3 or 4 songs that are my favorite from this album? And this was also very, very difficult. I will say both Humming and Hello Euphoria are so groovy and upbeat, and they will definitely get stuck in your head. Love the lyrics in there as well. I know which one is my favorite, but let's get a top 3, top 4. So we're going to go with Dizzy on the Come Down. We're going to go with Diazepam. We're going to go with Like Slow Disappearing. And we're going to finish with I Would Hate You If I Could. But I'm telling you, Intrapersonal is really close there as well. But I'll leave it with those first 4 that I said. And then if I was forced to do a 5th, I'd go Intrapersonal. But my number 1, potentially in the entire music set here out of every single one of their songs, is I Would Hate You If I Could. From personal experience in my own life, this just hits. It hits on all cylinders, and the lyrics, the instrumental, everything about it is just perfect. So this has contention for my number 1 song on their entire playlist or discography, if you will. But it'll take the cake for this album. So I don't want to sit here forever and bore you, but let's keep moving on to the next album. We have Good Nature in 2017, and the ridiculousness continues as these hearts are just getting completely thrown out of here like they're candy. The kids are coming in from kindergarten and you are just handing out all of these as straight freebies. Like if I do a series on this where I do a bunch of different bands, you will not see this. Like that's how crazy this is, and that's probably one of the reasons why I wanted to make this video, is just because I'm so satisfied with the quality of songs that Turnover has to offer. But I'm giving hearts out again. I absolutely adore this album as well. And right back to the grind here. What is going to be our top 3 or top 4 when it comes to this album? I'm going to get Supernatural in there. It's going to make the cut. We're going to go for Pure Devotion. Absolutely. We're going to get Nightlight Girl in there as well. And then Bonnie, Rhythm, and Melody. I think those are a pretty decisive top 4 for me. If I had to pick a top 1 out of those, it's really tough, but I think I'd go Pure Devotion. It's just so crisp. It's so clean. It's one of the first ones I heard from this album, and I couldn't turn back from there. So moving on to the 2019 album, it is All Together here. And I think this one is pretty tough because I think the quality is just clean right across the board as well. Like, I don't think too many of them are better than each other. I think the quality is just really kept up because, like, right here, I just picked out those 4, and I feel like those have just a notch above the rest, to where this one, I think they're all together, if that even makes sense. So Ceramic Sky is a little bit shorter, but it's got the saxophone, I believe, a little bit more jazzy in nature, so you get a little bit of a change up there. But again, as far as the top 3, top 4, I will say that the Ceramic Sky has that coffee shop feel to it, while Number on the Gate will absolutely get stuck in your head, and same thing with Sending Me Right Back. Those, they're going to get your hips moving. You're going to start dancing. Even if you don't dance, it's going to get you moving. But for this one, I think we can narrow it down to a top 3 here. And we're going to go for Much After Feeling. We're going to go ahead and lock in Sending Me Right Back. And then we're also going to lock in my favorite one on the album, No Reply. Not only is it the same title as a Nightly song that I really enjoy, it's just so good. The opening comes in and you're done. Like that entire 3 minutes and 20 seconds, it's over. So I really like No Reply. It's so chill and you just love it. Love everything about it. And that leads us to the final album here, Myself in the Way. And finally, we can take a breath and we are not going to be giving out free hearts to everyone. So right off the bat, we have the instrumental with Stone Station, as well as Stone Station Reprise, and both of them are very good instrumentals. But again, I am here. I love the lyrics. I love the combination of lyrics and the music and the vocals. Just give me everything. And we are just going to go ahead, and as far as hearts go, we're going to get Myself in the Way, Wait Too Long, People That We Know, as well as Ain't Love Heavy. And that is it. That is all I'm going to give hearts to. I think everything else is fine. Give these a listen if you can. And I just think there's a really big leap from these 4 that we hearted and the ones that are here. I don't know if it was a different style or just more of the same that you kind of are already used to, but usually I look for something that is more memorable and something that sticks with you and something that differentiates the song or the album or the artist in general away from everyone else. And whether they're bringing in the groovy like they were in the previous albums, or something in the lyrics really sticks out to you, I really like these 4 songs in contrast. So can we pick a top 3 out of these 4? I feel like that's a much easier job on my part. So let's see. It's really tough, but I think People That We Know is probably my favorite on the album. So we'll go ahead and give that one the number 1 slot. And then we've got, I think Myself in the Way would be second. So then it comes down to Wait Too Long and Ain't Love Heavy. And I'm just going to edge it to Wait Too Long, although Ain't Love Heavy is right there. So that does it, guys. That was the video. I have no idea what this video is, but I had so much fun making it. This was an introspective look at the band Turnover. And we are talking indie rock. Let's see, there we go. And these guys are amazing. And if you guys haven't heard them, go check them out and see which songs are your favorite. If this is even your genre or your thing, if you like it, if you don't like it. But be sure to let me know how you feel about Turnover. Really cool indie rock. And let me know if you want to see more videos like this. So I had a ton of fun, and I'll hit you with the outro. As always, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. I would also say that Turnover is definitely worth watching. But I will catch you on the flip. Peace.